Everyone's moving to Las Vegas. Well, not everyone, but it is one of the fastest growing cities in the country. Lots of people want a warm climate and a much cheaper cost of living. I mean, there's no income tax here. And look around. There's plenty of room for more people. There might not be enough water, but there's enough land. In Las Vegas, there's lower class areas with rundown apartments and shootings all over the place. You knew that. Then you have some middle class areas like Henderson, but there's some really super fancy communities here too. And that's what we're going to look at today. Ask anybody in Las Vegas where the biggest homes and the richest people live, and they'll tell you about two communities, Summerlin and Southern Highlands. On this drive, we're going to check out Southern Highlands. Southern Highlands is a gated community on the south end of the Vegas metro area, pretty much the last place you drive past as you head south out of Las Vegas. It's in the foothills with really nice views of downtown. The average home price here is $600,000, but there's some mega mansions here. There's a golf course inside, and a tennis club, and a shopping center, and a spa, and a country club. There's medical facilities, parks, and a private police department. And inside this place are 3 elementary schools and a prep school that charges more than $15,000 a year to attend. Yes, this gated community has 4 schools inside its walls. Some of the wealthiest people in Las Vegas live here. The average households earn well over $100,000, but a lot of people make way more than that. Tony Braxton, Raiders quarterback Derek Carr, singer Nick Carter, former baseball player Reggie Jackson, the guy Penn from Penn and Teller, he lives here, boxer Floyd Mayweather, that MMA star guy Colin McGregor, Shaq, and other famous people have homes in here. Yeah, it's a big deal. We're going to drive around this neighborhood for a little while and talk with a realtor in the area who knows all about it. That way, you can get some perspective on how the wealthy families in Las Vegas live.
Did you know Las Vegas has more billionaires than any other city?
I did not know that, Mappy, but that makes sense. How many billionaires are there in Las Vegas?
There are 6. The guy who founded eBay has 22 billion.
Who cares about him? How much does David Copperfield have?
1 billion. If I lived in Las Vegas, I'd have the biggest mansion in town.
You better learn how to gamble then, because what I pay you isn't going to pay for a big mansion. But I think I remember you told me you have a lot of money saved. Anyway, thanks, Mappy. Bye, Mappy. So joining me right now, we have Mary Preheim with Keller Williams out of Las Vegas. Hi, Mary. Thanks for coming on.
Hi, Nick. Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah. So you showed me around Southern Highlands a little bit. I went up there. It's one of the nicest communities in Las Vegas, and a lot of people want to know where do the rich, fancy people live in the Las Vegas area. And so I drove around through there for a little bit. Very impressive neighborhood. Can you tell me a little bit about the neighborhood in terms of how it's growing and the types of homes that are in that neighborhood?
Yes, absolutely. So Southern Highlands is actually a master planned community in the south west part of Las Vegas. One of the communities that we explored was actually the golf club. So Southern Highlands Golf Club, which is a private guard gated area within a master planned area of Southern Highlands. So Southern Highlands consists of multiple subdivisions, but within inside of the golf club that's guard gated, there are 6 subdivisions, and then there's 2 luxury lot subdivisions that they're building there as well. So some of them are a little more private than others. Like the Tuscan Cliffs, the Estates, the Enclave, Christopher Homes, Christopher Collections, Beleza. But the luxury lots up at the very, very top on the southern side and the western side, that's Olympia Ridge and Augusta Canyon. So those lots range anywhere from a half or a third acre up to multiple acres. There's a available listing up there right now that's 34 acres, huge piece of property, for $9 million just for the dirt. So you can get extreme luxury, but in the subdivisions, you can get stuff closer to $1 million as well for like 2,200 square feet.
Mm-hmm. So like the area that I kind of drove through a little bit, what are the average prices of those homes right now?
They're on average going to be 1.5 to 2.5 for most of the stuff within the golf course, but you can get stuff in $3, $4, $5 million easily within that area. You get into the Estates or the Enclave. The Enclave is only 14 homes, so super, super little niche area inside of there that's exclusive. Those are going to be closer to 4 or 5 million.
hmm What do people do for their job to be able to afford like $1 million to $6 million home? Are these people that work? Are they higher ups down in Vegas that are the executives? Are they doctors, lawyers? Are they like famous people? Kind of a little bit of all of them.
Combination of all of that, exactly. Yeah. Floyd Mayweather has a home in there, doctors, lawyers, attorneys, some builder developers. I actually have several of my clients that have it as a second home. They spend part of their time here and part of time in other places. So they're high C-level executives, business owners, wide variety of everything that you mentioned.
Yeah, and I saw a lot of new construction going on in there. Is there that much demand for $1 million to $5 million homes in Las Vegas right now, or is there like overbuilding, or like I mean, there was a lot of new homes being built in there.
Yes, there's a backlog actually. We have a shortage of homes for sure across the nation, but especially in Las Vegas. So there's wait lists. Even the country club golf membership has a wait list right now. So there's a wait list for everything. Huge demand for sure. So some of the newer construction that you saw, there's some tract home development going on. Lennar is building over there as well. But the custom homes are largely predominantly what's being built upon that southern and western ridge of the Southern Highlands area.
Can you put it in perspective, like how I know Summerlin's also a very nice area, and there's parts of Henderson that are also very nice. Is this just about as nice as it gets in terms of Las Vegas fancy living, or does it get like way fancier than what I'm showing right now?
Those higher level lots, those luxury lots, that's pretty much as luxury as we get. They build those type of homes and have those lots available in 4 different areas within our city. So another area over in Henderson in McDonald Ranch, Escaya is up there at the top. So that one has some really big luxury lots all the way up the mountainside. And then if you go over to the Summerlin area, you get into the Ridges and Red Rock Country Club and luxury homes that are built up. And they're all kind of up on the mountainside. So same feel as when you go into other states like California, those higher level up along the mountainside homes is where the luxury tends to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know Vegas is like one of the fastest growing cities. A lot of people are coming from Southern California there. It's cheaper, no income tax. It's warm, sometimes too warm. Where are most of the $1 million plus people moving from when they come to Las Vegas?
We are seeing about 35% of our influx of new residents coming from California. So the majority is definitely from there. And I know they're flooding to other states as well. I hear from other agents that California is having an exodus, but we have clients that come from the East Coast. They're trying to get out of the snow and hard winters as well. So it's either usually a tax reason or a snow reason, or they're just looking to retire and stretch their money a little bit further because yes, that cost of living, the taxes, the cost of the house is a little less expensive than some of the other luxury areas. So their retirement can last them twice as long.
Yeah, I mean, you sell a house in California and you can get $1 million for a place that's just teeny tiny in a bad neighborhood. I San Mateo, California, particularly, there's a lot of really bad areas in there, and those homes are like 1.2 million, and they're like tiny homes. And then you
work.
and then you go get a brand new home up in the fancy hills, and you're like, hey, like I moved up in the world, even though you're paying the same amount of money that you did for what you're paying in California. I don't blame people at all for fleeing and moving away. And that seems to be the trend right now. So
yes, absolutely. We're seeing it big time for sure.
All right, so everybody, we have a special guest to talk about some of this stuff. And this is Jacob from Jacob's Life in Vegas. I'm sure you've seen his videos if you're in the Vegas area or if you're curious about Las Vegas. What's up, Jacob?
What's up, Nick? Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. I was in your hood last month, and I saw the good and the bad in Vegas. I used to go to Vegas all the time when I was a kid. It's been a number of years, probably 12, 13 years since I've been in Vegas. Things have changed a little bit. It looks like LA has moved into Las Vegas a little bit and kind of crept into your neck of the woods there.
In some ways, yeah, that's one of the big concerns people have is Las Vegas turning into Los Angeles. So, I mean, you and I are both from California. I mean, I can still say comfortably that Las Vegas is a long way from being Los Angeles. I'll say that as a good thing. I think most other people think that's a good thing. But yeah, especially since 2020, I mean, there's been so many people that have moved here from other states, particularly California. But yeah, LA County is the #1 county that feeds into here, Clark County.
Yeah. Too bad. Hopefully they stop coming, but the line down the 15 is long. They are headed your way, and there is no end in that.
Well, I say, dude, I came here way before it was cool. That's what I say. Way before, it was cool to make all the videos on YouTube saying I'm leaving California. So I was years ahead of that trend. But yeah, it's a growing area for sure. We've added a couple 100,000 people just since I've been here.
Yeah, so I went down to a few of the nicer areas, as well as the bad areas. I went down to Southern Highlands, and I went down to Henderson, which are like some of the nicer areas in the Las Vegas area. Like, do you ever go down to Southern Highlands? Like, do you know anything about that part of the city down there with all the fancy homes and rich people and all that?
Yeah, well, Southern Highlands is kind of split into two, really. So, I mean, it's one of many popular neighborhoods and communities we have here. So, yeah, I mean, as you would imagine, it's at the south end of the metro area. So, I mean, if you're driving in from LA, I mean, you're going to like basically go by it as you're driving in. Southern Highlands is kind of split between, they do have like the more actually middle class, maybe middle upper income portion, and then they have like their wealthy side. They definitely have their wealthy side, and those, $1 million+ homes and things like that.
So Southern Highlands, I drove through there a little bit. Very nice. Do you ever go in there? Is there any reason why people that don't live in there would go in there? I didn't realize that there's 4 schools in there. They have elementary schools inside of there. Medical centers, besides all the amenities like golf and tennis and all that stuff. They have their own shopping center in there. Like, I thought that was pretty. I've never heard of a gated community with its own school system.
That's more common here. You'll see certain neighborhoods. You'll see like here in Centennial in the Northwest, there is like, Centennial Hospital, and that kind of thing. Yeah, you'll have schools inside some of these communities. And yeah, their own shopping, right? Their own, obviously golf courses, their own restaurants, and in the clubhouse and the golf courses, their own private events. So yeah, in some ways, some of these like, neighborhoods, these gated communities do kind of operate like their own little utopia. I just recently did a video talking about Rhodes Ranch, which is in the southwest part of town, not that far from Southern Highlands. And, when you go through there, you have to go through the armed security checkpoint at the front. And Rhodes Ranch, they do have, middle income homes all the way up to like really nice homes and the golf course, but they have their own, the armed security at the gate also patrols the property, also patrol the community, and they can write tickets to people for like speeding and that kind of thing. And if you're a guest in there, so if I were to go like into Rhodes Ranch and someone has to like put me on a list to get in there so they can check my ID, see I'm on the list and let me in. If I get a ticket for like speeding or something in there and I don't pay it, then whoever's list I was on that lives in the community who let me in, like they're liable for it. So they do kind of operate, like especially these HOAs, they do kind of operate like their own little, mini government, if you will, in some ways. But no, I mean, for people to go there, if they're going for a social gathering, going to play golf or something like that. I mean, generally, if you're living in Sky Canyon in the Northwest, you're probably not going to be going down to Southern Highlands a whole lot just to hang out there. Unless you work there, you got friends or something in the community, or you're drive for Uber and Lyft and you're dropping someone off there, you're probably not going to be like hanging out across the metro area a whole lot.
Yeah, I learned it was $50,000 to become a member of the Southern Highlands Golf Club. Jeez. And then it's like $1,400 a month to be a member. So like that, for a lot of people, that's like what their mortgage is, $1,400. And that's just some people's like, golf spending money.
Yeah, that's definitely on the high end of the wealthier half of the Southern Highlands community, without a doubt. Hearing that, I think a fair amount of the Raiders players that moved, when the Raiders moved here, a fair amount of the players and staff probably live in the Southern Highlands area. It's also close to the Raiders practice facility, so it makes sense. But yeah, that is one of the popular neighborhoods here, one of several that keeps growing in this area.
Yeah, Derek Carr lives in there. I think John Gruden lives there, but he got fired, so who knows if he left. I don't know.
It
was cool.
We did keep residents here just to keep that no state income tax.
Yeah, I know, right? Because that is a selling point.
Exactly. So Yeah, it's grown a lot out here, to say the least. I've seen it over the years. I've just been doing videos on it. I don't stop and think about it a whole lot, but when we think about it like this, I'm like, damn, it has been a ton of growth here.
Yeah.
So, it's been wild.
Hey guys, if you learned something new about America or what it's like to live in America, great! You should think about subscribing and turning on your notifications. You can also click one of these videos or playlists for more. You can also now buy my songs on iTunes and other formats. Click the link in the description. Thanks for watching. And remember, while we all might have different views, we should all be nice to each other and try to make the U.S. a better place in a positive way.
This is Sage, Nick's manager. This has been a Corner House Entertainment production.
And are you looking to move and need advice? I do consulting. That's right. I'll sit down and talk about where the next perfect place for you and your family should be. I do it all the time. Together, let's find you a new home that's safe and checks all your boxes. You can get my email in the description to find out how I can help you find your perfect relocation.